My friends, today we will have a look at the DBV-152. This is first tier 10 Czechoslovakian TD and it will be available during assembly shop. So let's find out what this tank is all about. For being a tank destroyer, the most important quality would be the gun, right? And DBV has 800 damage per shot, which is one of the highest in an entire game. But unfortunately, with combination with pan and shell velocity, sometimes it's going to be very hard to make full use of it. To understand why, let's have a look at our gun handling stats. We will quickly find out that it's one of the worst in the game. Even slightest movement of the turret or hull will bloom our gun, and even at close range we can notice it. And here is a perfect example how 330mm of pan just not enough for a tank destroyer. It's trying to shoot at type 5, which usually would be 3 damage. I'm struggling a little bit and really have to aim for the weak spots. And it makes it somehow difficult because by peeking around the corner even so slow, my gun blooms and I have to aim a little bit extra time, or going for a snapshot and just hoping for the best. But I have to say, the aim time on DBV is just incredible. Playing around ridiculous bloom every time you move your tank is annoying, but having fully rotational turret on a tier 10 tank destroyer, 800 damage per shot and such amazing aim time makes it balanced, and I had a lot of fun playing with this vehicle. If you know me, I'm a huge fan of Grille, mainly because of the mobility and somewhat functional turret. But what I can't do with the Grille is this: sitting on the reach line and turning my tank in a way where I want to get back in cover by going forward is exactly the reason why I'm loving DBV-152. Being an aggressive player that I am, having nice mobility is very important for me. I'm just getting bored sitting in one spot and waiting for enemies to peek. Rather, I push myself and kind of get the situation in my own hands. With its great top speed and fast acceleration, I can do just that. DBV-152 feels very mobile, especially that I am playing with experimental turbo. Trying to figure out what this tank is all about, I decided to use HE on running iyouxin, and here is an amazing example why bloom is such a big problem. And this was happening numerous times throughout recording of this video, and honestly I gave up on gambling for extra not even 200 HP with the H round and rather go for stabil 800 with the AP round. And honestly, the combination of good accuracy and phenomenal aim time makes up for horrible bloom, especially when I'm playing this aggressively. As I'm so close to the enemies, it makes it easier to hit weak spots. But I really don't want to make it sound like this tank has the best gun in the game. But how many guns do we have with 800 damage per shot with a fully rotational turret and such mobility that DBV has? But I really want to point it out. There are much better guns in the game, and here I want to show you a couple of situations where it really demonstrates how unreliable or how big of a problem the bloom on this gun is. I'm peeking against VZ55 and just cannot have the confidence to snap his cupola, end up losing all of my HP. Here, shooting at the mouse, I'm just waiting for his cheek, right? Well, nope. Didn't pan that one. Pushing against Butchot that was unspotted. Got shot by the Foch. We have 5 seconds to aim our shot between his reload. Nope, gonna hit the rock. So looking at this gun performance, we can say that it requires a little bit of patience and enough time to aim our shots. The best way to play this tank is as a support for heavy tanks, where you're sitting behind and just slapping enemies whenever they are making a mistake. Luckily for us, our camo allows us to do it, and here peeking behind this smallest bush hides me, and I'm able to take my time to aim my shots while being super close to the enemies. But if we look on the minimap, we cannot play here any longer. Our i7 and TNH are dead, and soon enemies will flank us. That is, until we will do it first. And pay attention how I'm sitting and making sure I'm not proxy spotting the corner. This gets enemies a chance to push, feeling confident, and that's where we are going to punish them time after time, trading our HP and just making it super hard for them to break through the flank. I mean, if they want to do it, they have to pay. And just look at these juicy high rolls. Man, how can you not like this thing? But I have to say, I'm just all about this playstyle, being close to the enemies, punishing them between their reload, and like playing on edge. I love it. That's my favorite way of playing World of Tanks. And if you are someone who prefers more chill gameplay, maybe sitting at the backlines and supporting teammates, I think that there are better tank destroyers to do it, like maybe a CRV. Of course, you don't have the same alpha damage per shot, but you have the DPM and much better accuracy, much better aim time, and better armor whenever you feel like going and brawling against the heavies, because with this tank, you literally don't block anything. But personally myself, I've never been in need of a lot of armor, and I would much rather have better mobility to punish enemies on the crosses like that 50B, or going for tricky boost positions like this. I went on the middle, get shot on the 50B, now trying to find a shot on the Manticore, and he had no idea. So we already been in kind of two positions. Now I see that the heavy flank is falling down, so I want to go there and connect a couple of shots, and yeah, successfully doing so, having already 2000 damage. And look at this acceleration, guys. We are going 40, like maybe 4 seconds after we started moving. That even Foch having a hard time to chase us. Playing like this would require a decent knowledge on how the game works, and I think that DBV is quite difficult to make work because it doesn't forgive any mistakes. Every time you expose yourself, it's going to be a penetration. That's why whenever I'm being asked which TD is the best to complete TD 15 for Object to 60, I always recommend tank like T110 E3 because it has a lot of armor and can be practically playing as a heavy tank. So you just cover lower plate and it's working. But with this tank, you have to be sneaky, create these cheeky angles on unsuspected enemies, and if you feel like you can manage this, you're gonna love this vehicle. But every time Assembly Shop comes around, World of Tanks community is going crazy, and I cannot wait to hear people calling DBV another 300 euro scam. That is just so funny and wrong at the same time. Look. On my personal account, I have finished grinding all of the tech trees, so free experience and blueprints are accumulating and have absolutely no use for me. So I'm quite excited to spend it and get DBV for free. And that's the only way I recommend you acquire Assembly Shop tanks as well. Prepare bonds, free experience and blueprints, and get yourself a unique tier 10 1 or 2 times a year. If you want to spend gold on it, it's just not worth it. Taking a shortcut and overpaying stupid amount might even make you feel bad. So do it the smart way. And for everyone who will participate in Assembly Shop, let's do an overview of what we were talking about so far. We have good firepower with the DBV, okay gun handling with the horrible dispersion factors that are quite balanced with the amazing aim time. So that's okay. DBV has great medium tank-like mobility, so it's very flexible. We have great concealment, second best of all tier 10 TDs by the way, and absolutely no armor. But to be honest, not so bad that everyone loads HE at you, so at least something. And personally for me, this tank is good and fun to play. But once again, I want to remind you guys, it is difficult to play. Overall, I would rate this tank 8 out of 10. My friends, this was the very first rating video that we did, and it just happened to be a DBV tank. We put a lot of thought in the concept, and if you like it, please let us know. We plan on making rating videos for a variety of the tanks, so if you don't want to miss it out, subscribe to the channel. I really hope I was able to demonstrate both the weaknesses and the strength of DBV, and it's going to help you decide whether you want to have this tank or not. Thank you so much for watching, and we are going to see you in upcoming videos.